Today, I'm going to be talking about Bookfighters and Moby-Dick.
Around the horn, around the Norway maelstrom, and perdition flames before I give him up. Death to Moby-Dick!
If this thing comes as a surprise to you, this review that I'm doing of Moby-Dick, then I will put a little link to Bookfighters 2.0. It is basically the reading group that I am hopefully going to be associated with this coming year. Last month they said that they were going to read Moby-Dick, so I thought, well, I'm going to do it too. So this is my response video to that. Now, Moby-Dick, it's a huge book. I read a little bit of Dickens, and I found out one thing about Charles Dickens was that apparently, according to rumour, he got paid by the word, and I have to say that I'm not sure whether or not this is the case here. But it's a big book, and it's a classic. To be honest, I'm not into classics. I'm not a big reader. I never was. I really struggled with reading growing up. I've started Anna Karenina, started Count of Monte Cristo. In fact, basically, as far as classics go, I'm kind of a 2/3 the way through kind of guy. But this one, I actually managed. In fact, it could be classified as two separate books. One is the adventure of Ishmael and Ahab and their quest across the North Atlantic looking for, well, quest across the world, I guess, looking for Moby-Dick. But the second part, if I was going to make a DVD of this, there would be the movie of the adventure, but then there would also be a significant documentary in the bonus features, because what the author does is actually go into a lot of detail about whaling in the late 19th century. One of the things I was struck about was a sense of fairness in the whaling trade. What I mean is, in comparison to whaling today, really, small boats, small harpoons, they get knocked around, the boat gets sunk. It's very much very much more a man versus wild. And there's a huge level of danger in it for them, and obviously a huge reward as well. One of the small descriptions that struck me particularly was the chapter on Nantucket. It is beautifully written and goes into such elegant detail and gives that impression of this small, insignificant island. The description of Nantucket describes a very small and insignificant island that is sandwiched basically between two huge unknowns. On the one hand, you've got the North Atlantic Ocean and all its vastness of water and uncertainty and danger that's associated with that. And then on the other side, there's a very new world, a continent, North American continent, equally dangerous and equally, I'm sure that others will speak of different elements to the book, and I will put some links in the doobly-doo to appropriate places where you can find more of those reviews and more of that discussion. And if you want to, you can share the book too. It's huge. The language is challenging, but it is hugely rewarding. I'll catch you next time.